Performance is coalescing around dopamine. That's because dopamine is energy. When we think about performance and mood, and everyone knows dopamine today. It gives me vindication of what I was saying 10 years ago. That's because dopamine is the key neurotransmitter in the brain. Nothing feels better than dopamine. Nothing is more productive than a boost of dopamine in terms of your motivation, your drive, perseverance, and getting stuff done. More exciting than anything is the neuroscience that's centering around dopamine today. That's because of its role in brain neuroplasticity, synaptic neuroplasticity to be precise. That's our brain's ability to learn and adapt. Dopamine is how we learn. Without dopamine, you can't get better at anything. With dopamine supplementation, you can learn anything faster than before. You can pick up any motor skill faster than before. Dopamine is the limitless molecule. I'm Dr. Randy, board-certified internal medicine physician here in the beautiful state of New Mexico. Beyond Energy is the most dopamine-enhancing drink possible. By that I mean the only drink based upon L-dopa. L-dopa is the amino acid precursor of dopamine. You take in L-dopa orally, it goes into the brain, turns into dopamine very rapidly. It elevates dopamine level. The ancient Indian herb Mucuna pruriens, it contains rich amounts of L-dopa. I began consuming L-dopa and with various combinations of caffeine and ginseng, ginkgo, and green tea. And then over 1 year, going to work, feeling fantastic and testing different formulations. 2012, I formed my company, Creative Aspect, with the intention of creating the first ever L-dopa infused energy performance drink. We had the intention of building the drink around the Mucuna, around the L-dopa, around the dopamic L-dopa. It goes right into the brain and rapidly converts dopamine. Motivated, happy. We're actually calling out the dopamine. That's what everybody knows. That's the basis of the drink. We've been working on it for a few years. So check it out. I'm sure you'll be impressed. For nearly 2 years of sample testing, I knew I had to move forward with an actual production run. Aside from my full-time job as a hospital physician, I put my full weight and energy behind developing this ultimate innovation in energy. And when people had asked me, well, is this going to be an actual energy drink? This is beyond energy. And I was able to trade that. Nobody knew how well L-dopa would hold. So I had an outside lab test samples. Now, nobody had tested L-dopa levels, so the lab actually had to create chromatography columns specific for my needs. And then we began to run all of my samples in testing L-dopa levels. I've got all that data and the levels maintained. We definitely have pH, the other ingredients right, especially in the pasteurization times and temperatures. I'll tell you a little bit more about history, how we launched, what we've done. Check it out. In 2014, we produced Aquadopa Beyond Energy to compete in the healthy energy space. It was all natural, non-carbonated, had 80 milligrams of caffeine and sweetened with cane sugar. Of course, it had ginseng, ginkgo, taurine, and tyrosine. It was essentially the L-dopa Red Bull, which seemed logical at the time. We realized we had done it. We had technically captured the dopamine feel in a pasteurized energy drink in a can. People were amazed. The feel was noticed by everybody, and it was fantastic, and it lasted all day. People felt like they just wanted to dance around. They wanted to invent. They wanted to create. They wanted to move. They wanted to climb a mountain. Well-known brand manager who got us launched into all Sprouts farmers markets coast to coast in the spring of 2014. At that point, we became the first company to launch an L-dopa-based energy performance product to the larger public. There was only one flavor, one SKU. We were only in the dry section. I realized I simply needed to make a better tasting, better looking drink. In 2016, we launched the same formula product, but in a blue, edgier Aquadopa can with Beyond Energy still as the tagline right at the top. It was extremely costly to change the label and swap out the drink. What we needed to do was we needed to make a carbonated version of our Mucuna drink. So we looked around and found a better, more versatile Mucuna preparation. We were able to create a carbonated version which was lighter. I had the revelation that Beyond Energy was a much better brand, much more appealing brand than Aquadopa. It produced the first Beyond Energy, carbonated lightly, still 8.4 ounce, berry flavored, which was much better and still captured the effect. Since we didn't have much communication with Sprouts and our brand manager was way out of the picture at that point, Sprouts made a decision to nix many even smaller brands. Despite the adverse flavor profile and the 8.4 ounce can being a thing of the past, so many people reassured me that the feel was real and they loved the sensation. Beyond the motivating effect, many people comment on the smooth flow state that it delivered. I would remind people that if L-dopa can smooth out a Parkinson's tremor, it could put everyone in a flow state beyond anything else. There's no beyond dopamine. We stayed on the shelves at Sprouts for 3 years, and I'm certain it was because the drink simply made them feel so good. The effect that I was after was captured. I've never believed that dopamine is the future of the energy market. It's becoming very evident today. And I knew that Mucuna with L-dopa is the only way to do it, and we were the pioneers of it. So at the end of 2018, I decided to bootstrap the redevelopment of Beyond Energy in a 12-ounce can, 3 flavors, get the caffeine up to 200 milligrams, get the sugar the hell out, capitalize on the brand's acronym B. The acronym B is a one-syllable capture of the limitless potential of this brand. Beyond Energy B is a brand for everybody. Young, old, office worker, athlete, artist, everybody wants to be more. Go beyond energy, be motivated. We also had a new business development team with much more experience. Being from Kansas City, we had the great idea to go ahead and launch in Kansas City. We had a fantastic distributor who were true believers. They love Beyond Energy. For the launch, we were able to take on additional angel investment for the launch. All MDs. At this point, we have 16 medical doctor physician investors in Beyond Energy. So in the spring of 2021, we launched the new Beyond Energy B in the grocery space in Kansas City in approximately 50 grocery stores. Unfortunately, still only on a dry space, not in a cold section. Once we threw the drink up on the shelves, we knew we had a problem. The faded can, you couldn't see the dopamine difference from 3 feet away. In 2022, we realized we had to redevelop the label itself. We created a bold, clear, Beyond Energy, feel the dopamine difference right on the front of the can. We were the first people to truly throw dopamine out there in the public with this brand. At the same time, we launched the new clear label. Our friendly distributor who loved B or big believers sold their distribution to a large Budhouse distributor. So I would have known what I know now. I would have packed up right then and said, no, thank you, we're going to go somewhere else. But we felt like they were going to be a partner. They loved the brand when they heard about it. So we rolled out in the same grocery stores, only this time with a new distributor and with cardboard shippers, cardboard displays. We stacked 3 cases of Beyond Energy. We were able to put those all over the grocery. People were buying them right and left. Those shippers cleared out, was having trouble even keeping them up. We had to set up another production run. We didn't have a good sales rep in Kansas City. What we noticed was that the shippers, once they were empty, were being discarded. They weren't even around anymore. Nobody knew where they were, and our sales dropped as a result. And unfortunately, being a big Budhouse distributor, all too eager to get rid of this little brand, took the opportunity, I believe, to have the grocery store nix us, and that was the end of our business in the grocery chain in Kansas City. One bright note of Kansas City, we went into St. Luke's Hospital, and their big cafeteria refrigerator set. I did one demo there in 2021 with the faded can, and everybody saw the drink. From that point on, we did 20 cases a month for 2 years. Faded can, new can, all of it. Next to Red Bull, Monster, Alani Nu, Prime, and others. That simple market reassured me I was on the right path. I knew for sure those people were drinking that drink because they knew what it was. Healthcare workers, they're working 12-hour shifts. Nothing lasts longer than Beyond Energy. In fact, to this day, I still drink a half a B at a time. Why would you drink 4 Monsters when you can drink 1 Beyond Energy, feel more motivated, better energy, more productive all day, and only buy 1 energy drink? And I know that's why we were doing so well. We have it on record. People know what it is, and they have access to it. They buy. It's a new day for Beyond Energy. Pruriens is the healthiest herb on the supplement market by far, hands down. Not only because it's elevating your dopamine, keeping you motivated your whole life, which has all kinds of benefits, but it's extremely healthy in terms of being pro-metabolic, anti-diabetogenic. People lose weight when they're taking Mucuna because their dopamine levels are up and they're simply not hungry. I've been taking Mucuna pruriens for 10 years now, fairly high dose. I'm 57 years old and I feel better than I've ever felt in my life. Definitely the herb fountain of youth. Dopamine is up, driven, purposeful, and you're meaningful in your life. Everything else falls into place. I'm going to take it for life. And the real it's just all the neuroscience centering around dopamine. There are trials going on right now with L-Dopa stroke recovery. There's been plenty of evidence so far to suggest that enhancing dopamine will help brains recover after a stroke because of the neuroplasticity, a way to adapt around the injured part of the brain. Here's a molecule centered to our nervous system, centered to our motivation, centered to our learning that is neuroplastic. Now that's incredible. I like to say L-Dopa is the motivation miracle molecule. L-Dopa actually makes you smart. I've studied L-Dopa in a can, functionally, tolerability. It's had it on the market for years like nobody has ever done before. That's the value. I'm already light years ahead of everybody else. So we hope you're impressed with what you've seen and what you're feeling with the sample. Mind you, those samples are over a year old, but they still work pretty good. And we're selling them online more than we had before. And when that drink comes off the line fresh, there's nothing like it. And when it comes off the line this time with theanine and perhaps other ingredients, it's going to be totally out of this world. There's going to be nothing stopping it. It's going to be so far advanced in terms of feel itself. And then we have the label, we have the bandwidth, we have the finances. There's going to be nothing stopping us from dominating the energy market. I say that with a straight face. Dr. India, let's go beyond energy.